Man, I know that the year just started, and obviously some, shows and people that need to get work done are a little bit behind because of the whole holiday and whatever. But man, I was really looking forward to the newest. Well, there wouldn't be a new episode of Hot Ones. It just would have been like a a I guess for whatever reason a PSA, a State of the Union, if you will, of what the hot sauce lineup was going to be for season 8, which I'm still curious to see. I mean, will Hot Ones finally Chipotle finally be on the lineup again? Will they get rid of Los Calientes? Are they not going to get rid of the bomb? Actually, that one's a pretty good guess. Is they're never going to get rid of the bomb. But yeah, happy Friday, everybody. So last night I did stay up a little bit later to watch actually another new show that came out recently. So yeah, why not? I'll do a my thoughts video today. So last night, for those of you who have been paying attention, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, has a new show out called The Titan Games, where individuals do these crazy sort of physical challenges to that test the limits of your strength, will, endurance, agility, etc. And the winner is crowned a Titan. Which, I mean, I like the premise of the show. Think of the challenge only without all of the drama of, and possibly partly nudity and drinking. So, yeah, it is a pretty good show overall. Honestly, the one thing that has me worried about the show is everyone's going to consider Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as most fanboys consider him as. I'll explain. See, for those of you who don't know, Dwayne Johnson is one of the biggest, celebrities in the world. He's been in a lot of movies. He's really popular. He used to be a professional wrestler, all that stuff. And unfortunately, there was a time where after Arnold Schwarzenegger left movies for a little while, Dwayne Johnson filled the void of being in family movies that really aren't very good. I mean, one of those movies was Tooth Fairy. I should give you an example of how bad it was back then. So, another thing people are worried about is, and this is actually something I've noticed too, is that The Rock's greatest strength is also his greatest weakness. I'll explain. See, if any of you guys know that The Rock was a professional wrestler, then you know that he knows how to work a crowd. He is an entertainer. He loves a captive audience, being under the spotlight. Naming lights, if you will. I don't think his name has ever been in lights, but you get the idea. However, that can translate to when you're by yourself, essentially, in front of a camera with a director and maybe a small group of people, that doesn't really translate over well. That's why a lot of the movies that The Rock is in usually aren't very good. Now, granted, I have seen some movies where I did legitimately think he was pretty entertaining. Like Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart. The Jumanji movie, that was Jumanji a couple years ago, with him and Kevin Hart and Jack Black and Karen Gillan. Like, that was a pleasant surprise for me. I actually thought The Rock was good in that one, the Jumanji remake. In fact, in a lot of ways, I think that movie might actually be better than the original. And the original had Robin Williams in it, so that should tell you something right there. And any Disney fan is going to know him as Maui from Moana, which, I'm just going to say this right now, You're Welcome is my favorite song from that movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love How Far I'll Go. I really like that song. And it definitely deserved the Oscar nomination. But if I want like a toe tapper song, like just get in the mood, feeling happy, I gotta listen to You're Welcome. And, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's pretty good in that movie. I honestly don't know why. There are some people who are actually saying that his singing voice isn't very good. I did not think so at all in that movie. He was actually pretty good. Oh, another movie that he was good in, though I wouldn't recommend children watch it, believe it or not, Pain and Gain. Yes, a movie starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Anthony Mackie, and Mark Wahlberg, directed by Michael Bay, and Dwayne Johnson was good in that movie. Then again, that movie is a little underrated. It might actually be Michael Bay's best movie, I think, Pain and Gain. In fact, if I recall correctly, I once told myself, of the movies that came out in 2013, if you were to watch Pain and Gain and Wolf of Wall Street, back to back, that's going to be a great double feature. So, actually, I'm getting sidetracked. So, what did I think of The Rock in this one? Well, for one thing, this show is definitely playing to his strengths. He's essentially a game show host. He is entertaining a crowd, and because of his wrestling background, being a professional wrestler, can you smell what The Rock is cooking, that stuff? It translates well into a medium like this. So, overall, I have to say, in terms of how he is on the show, he's pretty good. Although there is one show coming out next week that I'm looking forward to a little more, in which the host is one of my all-time heroes, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I actually can't wait to talk about that, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, right, I should probably get into more of the show. And the physical challenges on this show, they're actually kind of on the brutal side. You have to walk upstairs carrying a chain that gets heavier and heavier as you keep going up. You have to, do giant pole vaults, a pole vault relay race, kind of. You have to do, a giant wrecking ball thing where you have to knock over towers. These appear to be physically grueling. And anyone who's on that show, you have my humble respects. You do. don't get me wrong. I like to think I'm pretty, decent overall athletically, but, I would have a lot of work to do if I ever had any sort of aspiration to be on that show. So, yeah, overall, I have to say, I recommend watching the Titan Games. If not for, if you're a fan of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I recommend you watch the show. If you like the whole physical challenge aspect of, essentially game shows, you'll like this show as well. If you like if you like shows like American Ninja Warrior, that's what that show kind of reminds me of. It kind of reminds you of American Ninja Warrior. So, if you like that show, you'd like Titan Games. And again, if you are a fan of The Rock, it's definitely worth checking out, if not to see him, see a show that plays to his strengths of being an entertainer for a crowd. So, yeah, I say give it a watch next Thursday. It's weird. For the longest time, Wednesday and Thursday have been sort of the slow days of the week in terms of what shows to watch. At least Monday and Tuesday have The Voice and Dancing with the Stars. And considering that another show is coming back to television after a season break, well, not a season break, but the show is America's Got Talent. That's what I was alluding to, by the way. Which is going to be hosted by one of my all-time heroes, Terry Crews. I am so excited. I love Terry Crews. Terry Crews is the man. Terry Crews is the kind of, celebrity actor who, if he's in something good, he makes it so much better than it already was. And if he's in something that's bad, he, at the very least, makes it watchable. That's how awesome Terry Crews is. Obviously, it's on my bucket list to meet a whole bunch of celebrities and some of my heroes like that, and Terry Crews is one of them. yeah. So, I guess the moral for the beginning of 2019 is watch The Masked Singer and watch Titan games. And when America's Got Talent comes back, watch that too. Especially since it's going to be Terry Crews is going to be hosting it. And I should probably make something clear. I love Tyra Banks. I like Nick Cannon when they hosted. But, it's Terry Crews. Terry Crews is somebody I love to watch doing anything. His episode of Hot Ones is easily one of my all-time favorites. So, yeah. Actually, I don't think America's Got Talent has ever had a bad host. Not that I'm aware of. So, yeah, watch America's Got Talent when it comes out on Monday. I know I will. Yeah. That's about all I have to say on that matter. And I should probably... Oh, wait. It's 2019. It's a new year. And the first Friday of 2019. Longtime viewers of this, video series would know that around this time of year, I like to stress the fact that if you do practice the Christian or Catholic faith, Lent is coming soon. And during Lent, you're not allowed to have meat on Fridays. So if you want to have meat today, start getting your fill in now. Now, the good news is, last year Lent started very early, like Valentine's Day, which is February 14th, and it ended on April 1st, which was April Fool's Day. This year, however, Lent is significantly later, starting on March 6th and ending on April 21st. That means, you have basically the next 2 months practically to enjoy having meat on Fridays. After Lent starts, however, you're not allowed to have meat on Fridays until April 27th, I believe. Yeah, if Easter Sunday is April 21st, Monday 22nd, 23rd, 25th. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. It's 26th. April 26th. Excuse me. I want to make sure I got that done correctly. Yeah, I'm always gonna feel the strain of not having to eat meat on Fridays. I'm a guy. I'm a carnivore. That's just how it works. And I'm definitely going to try and get what I want in now while I still have time. But even after I do, I'm going to be like, oh man, I hate not having meat on Fridays. But then, at least I will have done what I wanted to do. And you can't really say much more than that. So yes, get your fill of meat in today. Of course, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or you don't practice the Catholic faith at all, then feel free to ignore everything I just said. Actually, not everything. The Titan game stuff, you can listen to that part. But the whole thing about not having meat on Fridays, if it doesn't apply to you, then feel free to ignore. I'm glad I took the time to explain that. And sadly, not only do we not get a new episode of Hot Ones at any capacity, there is no new chapter of One Piece. This is going to be a rather boring weekend. Actually, I shouldn't really say that. Because of the whole holiday thing, the time when the new chapter comes out is a little in flux. Because I know for a fact that there wasn't supposed to be like a break at all. So, yeah. Yes, man. If I'm feeling tired, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm already feeling tired now. And tomorrow I'm going to do probably the longest run I've done in forever. I'm going to have to get up super early for that. Yay. That means I'm probably going to have to go to bed 12 hours from now if I want a full 8 hours before I go for the run. Somebody's going to do the math and be completely shocked by what time I get up. Or at least set my alarm. Anyway, that's about all I have to say for right now. So please like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And as always, I'm very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Friday and kicks off a wonderful weekend. a wonderful football-related weekend, but we'll get into that tomorrow. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I will always have your back. Take care, everybody.